Monday weekly reading update. What have I read? Do I recommend it? This week I finished 2 books. That's it. All I've done, people always think, oh, you read loads all the time. Sometimes I generally don't. I finished The Expanse book 4. It was fine. Definitely better than book 3. Not as good as book 2. Better than book 1, but still not entirely hooked. I have heard book 5 gets really good. So I'm hoping it is going to be the case. But so far, it's fine. Enjoying myself, but I'm not loving it. I think I just expect a lot more from it. I think my issue with it is most books, apart from Holden, have different characters, and book 2's characters were my favourite. I love them. Alisara, who I can't pronounce the name, queen, fucking queen, right? But the others, especially in like book 3 characters weren't for me. But these characters, they were just fine. There was one moment I was like, eh. I did like Mercury in the sense of I liked him because I hated him. So it's something to read about. Just didn't like the character. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. But I'm going to start probably not next week, week after. I will probably start Expanse book 5 because next week I'm off to Worldcon. Technically it'll be this week. I'm off to Worldcon. So am I going to get any reading done? Probably not. I finished The Expanse book 4. The other one I finished is Once a Monster. Honest to God, I bought this on a whim because it sounded kind of cool, right? And it was not what I expected. It definitely played on like the Minotaur like legend, but it was far more better than that. It's not a story just about a Minotaur. It's about what is it to be a monster? Is it because you look different? Does that automatically mean you are going to be a monster? Does it automatically mean one thing? And because you look different, you are going to be shown back by society because of that. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad person. So it really boils down to like, who is the monster? The person who looks like the monster, or the human people who will use people who are different than them to get what they want. And I loved it. Set in 1861 London. And it's the characters in this just really come off the page. Even the ones that you were not meant to like Murstone. You're not meant to like him. He's using other people for his own gains, right? You know that from the get-go. But there's more of an underlying layer to him because he's technically dying. So you start to understand, like, he really wants to get out of being a gutter rat. Same as what everybody else wants, like Nell, who's a little child. It really is mainly her story. But her point of view is Minos' story, because again, Minos, the Minotaur, he is so layered, so everything, and he doesn't really remember his past, but he knows he's different, and all he wants to do is just go to work and earn some money, and just go on with life, right? He's not wanting anything much, he's very much stuck in a rut, very friendless, alone all the time, and then you start this book and he gets mugged, and he's this big guy, like massive, huge, horns, the whole lot, right? He looks different, he's huge, far bigger than anybody else, but instead of attacking the people who are going to mug him, he lets them, he gives them his money, which isn't a hell of a lot, it's everything he's got, and you really feel for this guy. You're like, what are you doing? Like, fight back, but he doesn't, he chooses not to, because that's just not who he is as a person. You can really see, once you get into his head, once you meet him, you're like, actually, he is a good guy, he's really nice, he's sweet, he's caring, like, no matter what people have done to him, he will help them and save them and everything. And it was just so beautifully done, and even though he didn't want any trouble, he got trouble, but just because of how he looks, and he ended up being stabbed, and Nell ends up finding him. It's all in the beginning of the book, and that's when the story really blooms. It's their relationship together, how Nell was there, Nell, a child who doesn't know anything about caring for somebody, was caring for him and telling other people, no, leave him, and they're like, no, but look at his teeth, look what he looks like, he's not a good person, and then making a judgment on his looks, and he wasn't even awake for this, they hadn't even met him, and Nell was like, no, he is a good person, and she was so right. And it's such a beautiful story, but how they both go through life, how Nell longs for something that she used to have and cannot have anymore because somebody in her family died, and how she wants to just be a dancer, and she's a street urchin fishing in the river just to give to Murstone for some coin. And it's just, people are using her, using Minos, and it's just a beautiful story. This wasn't quite a 5 stars. It didn't quite make me cry. It hit a lot of the emotional beats. Just wasn't as strong of a reaction as I'd want for a 5 star. But I highly recommend this book. It's a moving book. It's a standalone. It's something that really looks on the characterization of different people, and I loved everything about this. I really enjoyed it. The audiobook was amazing, and this is my first time reading this author, and I think I am going to go back and look for his other works because it was so beautifully told and so beautifully written. So please go pick this up, because this is criminally underrated on Goodreads. Criminally. I know it's a new, like, obviously it came out last year. I have it hardback, and it's just, read it, rate it, shout about it, please, because this book deserves more love than it's actually getting. That's the second book I read. Now, I am continuing with Daughters of Midnight. I am rushing to finish this before I go away for WorldCon, because I want to put a review out on Friday. Is it going to happen? Well, you have to wait and see. I don't fucking know. I have 400 pages left to read in 3 days, because I'm very busy today. I don't have time to read today. Also, House of Dragon, the last episode. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm imagining it's going to be holy fucking shit. How am I going to get it done? I'm a slow-ass eyeball reader. I kid you not. People joke, but I read at a snail pace. Anyway, the other book I picked up, I'm 100 pages into this. I listened to about like half hour, 20 minutes of audiobook of this today. I'm not sold. I'm a bit like, do more DNF it. But the trouble is, it's signed. I've met the author. I love Devil Makes 3. Holy shit, 5 stars, amazing, creepy as fuck, creepy library, incredible. This is very much, I don't like the main character, and I think we're meant to. See, my issue is, I have a religious complex, right? I hate all religion. Any religion, I'm just, no, I don't like it. I don't like how controlling it is. There's so many fucking reasons I'm not going to get into here. I just don't like religion, okay? I don't, you believe, you do you, fine, but me, no. This is very religious coded. Not in the sense that it's trying to convert. I think what Tori Bovalino, I think what the author's trying to do is, she's trying to shine light on how indoctrinating religion can be. That's my take on it. Because the premise so far for this is this Lord Devil person, it's like insinuating it's a devil, comes and takes babies. And the only way to get them back is if you then go into the forest and give us something in return, okay? But the story's grown and grown and grown, and the story's only being told for people in this town, and this town is very religious centric. Like, her mother is abusing her so much from saying, you're not enough, you're sinning, why are you doing this, you're such a sinner. And I'm like, but she's not done anything. Like, I generally don't, my family's never been religious, so I don't know, but generally I'm like, she's not done it. I don't get what you're insinuating. And the whole town has turned on her, purely because she left the baby for an hour asleep, right? And then the baby's then gone. An hour, it was asleep. When you don't expect these things to happen, you just don't. And they're blaming her for her fault. You invited sin in, that's why the baby was gone. And I'm like, one, she's a kid looking after your baby, because you are a horrible ass fucking mother and you should be looking after the baby. But no, you give it to your 16-year-old daughter to do it instead. They're just like, any kind of reason, they are just turning against the main character in this. And I do feel for the main character, but also it's insufferable to listen to her. Again, it's first person, not really my take. I know I love Wood of the Many as first person, but this is the first person I'm not vibing with. It's very much like, just grating in a way that's just listening to her insufferably talk about how everybody else has brought her down. I get the point. I do get it. I think if I had a little bit of distance with this in the third person, I may have felt a bit better. It just comes across whiny. very whiny. It is a short book, so I think the author's trying to cram in a lot in a very short space of time, and I don't know, I might have preferred it slightly padded out, slightly more of a slow introduction, because you are generally just thrown into this world. There's no introduction to character, no learning about this. You very much first learn about the lore from this lord who takes babies, learn about the mother being an absolute bitch, and then the baby's gone. Very early on. So I get it, I'm not far into it, I'm 100 pages in, and I have about 150 pages left to go. So this will be done. By the time this goes out, I would have read this. And I cannot give you an answer on whether or not I liked it. You will have to guess whether or not I continued this or I did end up DNF again. Because even though I did DNF it, I will keep the book because it's, again, I met the author, memento kind of stuff, that kind of thing. But I'm not quite sold. I like the other author's works of Not Good for Maidens. That was fun. Better than this. It was fun. But nothing beats Devil Makes Me. What have you been reading this week? Let me know. And let me know if you read anything that I've read. And definitely go pick up Once a Monster, because holy fucking shit. But see you next time and happy reading.